Good evening and welcome to a very special race of Next Gen Season 13. This is the Group A1 Tourers, and this is the 100th race in all of the iterations of the Group A1s. So, special requirements, special rules in place to make it as good as it can get. We have the BMW M3 E30 at Silverstone and a full championship reverse grid order. And also special for tonight, joining me for this 100th race is Phil Humphreys.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's very special to be here. God, it's just been going so long. I think apart from GT3, this is the longest running league that we've got. GT3 would be the longest, beating it by about 15 races. Maybe 20.
It's one of those, it's an amazing achievement really, considering that at one stage Jack hosted this league with 4 drivers in it.
Yeah, it's just grown and grown. It started, so how it basically started, I mean, you covered this in the sort of video the other day about the history of it. So before we became Next Gen, it run under a different name, and it was very much, I was part of the admin, but it was very much the admin chose what leagues it was, and it was GT3 on a Wednesday and Formula C on a Sunday. And then so it was me and another lad that run it. The other lad, after season 2, started getting a bit stressed because more people started joining. And then I just thought, I don't want it to just be 2 leagues. And then I opened it up and said, right, I'm going to open it up now, and what leagues do people want running, and we'll just run the leagues. And then the RS 500 was massively chosen, and then it's just started from there. That ran for 1 season. It was only a short season really. Our point system was a lot different then. You could get a lot more points in the races, and then the E30s came in on Fridays, and then it sort of and then it got its Monday night spot, and it sort of stayed there for quite a few seasons now.
Now obviously we have a full championship grid reversal, fillers starting at the back. That should make the interesting racing here, especially for the top guys in the championship who have to now battle their way to get themselves a podium.
Yeah, definitely. Reverse grid races are always one of them where it just provides action non-stop. It also gives a chance for the slower guys as well to prove themselves, and I have seen it before. It doesn't always happen, but the slower guys can put up a real good show. You know what it's like yourself as well, Jordan. Some nights you just find your flow and you get into it. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting for the championship, and a really good event from start to finish, I feel.
So speaking of the championship, let's remind ourselves of the order after round 4, because obviously these guys are a round behind after technical issues, forcing them to delay their second round. So after round 4, which was Bathurst, and it was a wet one as that, Scooby G does lead the title chase with 66 points, so he'll be starting last of the championship runners. Jack, TM53 Synopsis, is in second with 64, Jamie F430 in third with 58, WRT Do STM is on 49, The Les on 42, Whitford Zero 41, The White House 7 is on 39, RDF1 Adam Morris is on 37. NGR Fraser are also on 37, not having a brilliant start to the season, it's fair to say. NGR Royston on 33, he's in 10th place at the moment. NGR Tim, the man, the dictionary meaning of commitment, on 22 points. Slider Gas 28, who's currently on holiday I think somewhere, on 16, Cam123 Diz, who can't make it tonight, on 15, Caesar 82 on 10, Liner Greasby on 8, Ben Sully also on 8, One High Mofo 6, AOR Gizmo 4, Envoy Extreme 4, and Shockshaft on 3.
How are they working out the reverse grid? Are they just going around and putting slow laps in? How is it gonna?
Yeah, so the idea behind, I'll get it up because it was put in a message. So There it is. The way this will work is that each driver has been given a time they have to try to adhere to. So, Envoy Extreme can go absolutely flat out. He just has to set a time as quick as possible. At the moment, quicker than a 107.2, which he has done successfully with a 105.9. One High Mofo has to set a 1 minute 7, which he's done pretty much spot on. Tim's done a very good job there. He was meant to hit a 110, but he is behind One High Mofo, which is perfect. Royston had to hit 115. We're still waiting for Fraser, who's got hit at 120, Adam Morrison on 125. D. Whitehouse on 130, Whitford 135, Les on 140, Edu 145, Jamie 430 150, Jack Millington, otherwise known as Jack Team 23 Synopsis, he has to hit a 155, and Scooby G has to hit 2 minutes. And then anyone who's not on that championship table, who's classified as a filler, I believe the definition of that is about they must have completed 3 races to be counted in the championship or something like that so far. They will start at the back, so will not be allowed to qualify.
Okay. So it's safe to say it's not going to be the most action-packed and exciting qualifying to watch, but it's all in aid to get that reverse grid done, so it does serve a purpose. So you will probably see a lot of cars parking up, just like Jack there as well.
Also, a couple of people returning for this one-off race, in the likes of this man, NXTGEN, who's coming out onto the circuit for a bit of testing. We also have Tilbs11, and is also back, which is good to see, really. Someone has disconnected, so I'm assuming one of their qualifying runs has not quite worked.
Yeah, it is nice to see a couple of returning names there as well. It's a real shame that Ginge hasn't been able to take part in the races. He just, I speak to NXTGEN quite a bit. He just doesn't have the time to put into practice at the moment, so it's just one of them. Rather than go out and get in the way of people, he just chooses out and obviously runs the modern touring cars as well. But nice to see him back out on track. Hopefully he'll have a good race and get the itch for it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's hoping that eventually, possibly into season 14, he might have a bit more time to spare to actually practice for it. Because obviously now with 3 leagues on a Monday night, to try and practice 3 cars is fairly time consuming. And I think he wanted to try and nail down the Moderns and the Clios to get some decent results, because he was having quite mediocre results. You can see him trying to be Ken Block. He was getting quite midfield order results, and I don't think he was very happy with it. He wanted to be fighting for those titles, and he's got himself into a good position actually with the modern touring cars and the Clios, so it seems to be working for him.
Yeah, it can be one of them, can't it, where if you take part in multiple series, one, you can the game loses that grip it gets on you, and it can become quite monotonous. And then if you start where you know that you can perform and you start having mid-pack, it just knocks your confidence and it just takes the enjoyment out of it. So sometimes it's best where you just take a step back, think, right, well, I'll occasionally race as a filler, and sort of just spend a bit of time practicing. And the good thing is NXTGEN isn't going anywhere, so we'll continue season after season after season. As long as we have people to race on the grid, we'll continue with how many ever want to continue racing.
So as we go through, let's have a look, see who's in the correct position. So obviously Envoy Extreme in that pole position. One High Mofo second, exactly correct. There's Tim third, Royston fourth. We're waiting for Fraser to put in his time to go fifth. Adam Morris is there, D. Whitehouse, Whitford. The Les. Waiting on Edu to put his time in. There's Jamie, there's Scooby, and we're waiting for Jack to have a time in. Now, I think Ginge here has been very, very clever and very, very sneaky. He's put in a time, so he's going to be, at the moment, the front of the fillers.
I see what he's done.
Instead of being in possibly 16th, he's actually almost guaranteed himself here a 14th place start, as long as Tilbs and Ben Sully don't come out.
Unless he's just going to put in some qualifying times and then maybe just leave the lobby and come back in. That's a possibility, maybe.
Possibly, but I think I think he'll be happy with just getting the front of the fillers. I mean, I think he might end up doing qualifying runs up until probably Luffield, which is the final corner for Woodcote. Yeah, he's backed off a little bit through Maggots.
He's just dusting off the cobwebs.
Jack's got to go quicker here than a 156. So he's gone round in a bit of a hurry, so he needs to wait a little bit. Benjamin McCluskey obviously rooting for Adam to have a good race on this one. See those two, along with Jamie, all good, close friends when they race on the track. Especially Adam and Benji. As Ginge decides to roll Jack. That's some interesting physics as well.
Amazing physics.
I'll say that's one thing. Did you watch the classic? Oh, as Ginge decides to rejoin the lobby. Did you watch the classic Spa-Francorchamps race in the BMW M1 Pro cars and Tim becoming an astronaut?
I did sadly. Mondays is quite hard for me to catch up, but I normally try and watch and then binge watch the videos on YouTube when I've got a sort of spare evening. So I'm still yet to watch a few of the races from this league.
I will send you a highlight clip of that race, because Tim decided that he didn't want to be a racing driver anymore. He wanted to be an astronaut.
I know, I did see that video. He'd landed it really well, to be fair, so credit on that one.
And it actually got brought up in his highlights when Jack done his massive post. He actually, as one of his highlights, they actually put in that he's the only man to send an M1 car to space.
Yeah.
Now, at the moment, Jamie has kind of messed this up a little bit. He's put his car in fourth. He should have been in 11th, I think.
He can't really leave and rejoin now because he won't
Not
get
anymore.
in the lobby in time, unless he would just pull out the way.
And I believe Ginge has actually ended up leaving and missing the cut-off point to get him back in. So there is a plan B for this.
There's always a plan B.
Always a plan B. Plan B is a rolling start after lap number 1. So it'll be called out by Jack. Luckily they're mostly in order anyway.
It would have to be Jamie that just fell out of the ranks.
Yeah, and I think because of that, Jack just put in a bit of a quicker time just for the sake of it.
Very nice looking car, that E30.
Envoy Extreme still going around, deciding as the more practice he gets, the better it will be.
Certainly pushing it on the limiter.
So, obviously we know the grid is different to that.
That's a real shame for Jins that unfortunately left and he's not able to get back in. Oh, there seems to be a few people leaving.
I got a feeling, I reckon there's going to be a new lobby coming up soon. I think we're going to end up with a rolling start with Jack calling out the whole grid. As that's Envoy Extreme deciding to not want to be on four wheels anymore.
Yeah. I think you can all just point your finger at Jamie and just blame Jamie for this one. I think Tim wants to complete a lap in first.
Tim drifting the car, he's got the Les behind him. This is just now a warm-up, although Tim has ruined the chance of leading a lap. Now, I will also say, whilst we're here, normally there's a point for pole position. There isn't tonight, obviously, because it's a forced pole position. However, we will be keeping an eye on the amount of laps each person has led, because the person who leads the most laps will win that bonus point.
Okay.
And it turns out Jamie only went quickly because Lee left, and Jack's words, like a moron.
Yeah.
So,
Ginger will have a story backing up for that, I'm sure.
Have we got new invites? That's the question. Not yet. There it is, brand new invite.
I'm sure mine will follow shortly. So are they just going to be scrapping the qualifying?
Scrapping qualifying it and shorten race distance to 22 laps, which would be 21. So that we don't run into the modern touring cars too much. There's my race director. I've got a whiteboard as well, so we can tally up who leads each lap. I don't know whether Phil might be actually more able to assist, as he won't get the cameras.
Do that. I'm going to get pen and paper. I've got a pen.
I believe we're waiting for one more person. There's Tim. Who are we waiting for? Ben Sully? No, he's in. Who's not in the lobby?
I think it's Fraser.
That sounds like a good shout. It is Fraser we're still waiting for.
Ah, there he is.
You want to stay for the modern touring cars as well, Phil?
I can do.
I'll leave it up to you, but if you want to, the invite is there.
I don't see why not.
Because they are going around Alton Park after this.
Yes, I'm staying. My home track.
And then after that, we've got Clio's on it afterwards.
Where are the Clio's racing from? Alton Park as well.
Alton Park as well, yeah. I mean, you could commentate on that if you want to. Obviously, I'm racing in it, so.
Could do. Oh, it looks like they're doing 5-minute qualifying.
5-minute qualifying. Maybe just do.
I wonder if everyone's just going to go and queue by the finish line and then they'll go right. Envo, you pass the line now and do it like that.
Could well do. Obviously,
that would be the easiest thing to do in a 5-minute session, really.
Although based on the way Edu's driving, he is ragging the life out of that BMW a little bit, going through maggots. I mean, obviously I've done a special feature for the 100th race. Bloody hell, yeah, I've got my Drift King in the Spanish Bull. Until now. Obviously done a special feature and I drove this car round here. And what a pleasure it was. It's fantastic to drive.
Yeah, it is a fabulous car. I do agree with you, in Project Cars 1 I did prefer the Mercedes. I think the Mercedes was probably the easiest out of the original 3 cars to drive. The BMW was a step up in my opinion, in terms of overall top line speed. And the RS500 is just out the field and the hardest to handle.
Yeah, I mean, the Sierra, what an animal that was back in Project Cars 1.
Yeah. I
mean, obviously,
thinking back, the reason probably why it got voted in as the car to start with is Next Gen is a British. I mean, we're open obviously worldwide, but it was mainly just lads from Britain that were racing first, and obviously it's a very popular car from the sort of old touring car ages. So I think with that in mind, that's probably why the RS500 got chosen to start the ball rolling on Group A. It is a shame that Mercedes never got 1 Series league.
It's interesting because obviously when I said to Jack, when we knew it was the 100th race, I said to Jack I was going to do something special for it. And obviously I said to him, as I started recording it, I was thinking, what could I do to really reflect the Group A ones for it? And all I said to him was, I'm going to bring back an old game and it's going to be a blast from the past. And to go back onto Project Cars 1 was actually quite nice for a change.
Yeah, I haven't, weirdly enough, I haven't touched it. One car that's missing from this game that's on that is the DTM Mercedes, the newer one. That for some reason got left out of this game.
Good car as well, because I remember on Project Cars 1 we used to be able to obviously borrow the DLC, which is a fantastic idea in my opinion.
That was a very good. It was only the host that needed, and that included track DLC and car DLC as well. So, yeah, it's probably. I was quite surprised that was a feature that was in Project Cars. Whether it wasn't meant to be, and then they couldn't really get around they couldn't fix that without breaking something else in the game or not. I don't know, but it's a shame that it's not in this game. But I suppose from a money-making point of view, it's a shame that they stopped the free car when they released the pack in Project Cars 1 that was a free car available. It's a shame that they stopped doing that.
Yeah, lots of good things kind of stopped when Project Cars 2 came out, and it kind of hindered it a little bit for me for Project Cars 2, because all the good stuff as Envoy Extreme has now disconnected, and I don't think we'll be restarting again. Yeah, it really did hinder it, because the amount of variety on Project Cars 2 was amazing until you realised certain cars wasn't in it, and all of a sudden you could borrow the DLC, so it meant that any league racing that you used to do on DLC cars was now nigh on scrappable.
Yeah, unless obviously you brought the DLC. A lot of people didn't buy DLC on Project Cars 2 because the amount of choice that was in the game. A lot of people thought that they didn't need the DLC because they were happy with how much choice was in there as well. So I do think, in a way, also from Project Cars 1, a lot of people bought DLC from being able to try it from someone having it as well. So I think they have sort of missed the trick by not enabling that feature again. Hopefully for the next game it'll be a feature that is brought back.
Well, here we are, we're going to get ready to go racing, and the grid is set correctly, all bar Envoy Extreme, who disconnected at the end of that. And I must admit, I did notice a bit of lag in the pictures during the qualifying, so I'm going to take a punt. It might have been him. But a few of the comments, obviously Dizzler saying it's interesting lap times out here, because obviously the way the grid was structured, Martin rolling restart would look epic at Silverstone. But we're going to get ready as we sink in for the 100th time in the Group A1s. We have the 3 red lights, and we're green here at Silverstone. Who makes the best getaway? It looks like One Homofo's managed to get away quite well compared to Royston.
Fraser got a very good start.
He did, up to 3rd place on the inside now of Royston. As they head down to Maggots for the first time.
Yeah, Fraser, very good start, very bunched up as we expect in the mid pack now. Jamie going a bit wide, looks like someone going up in the distance there as well.
That looked like someone around as well. I think that was Royston round at Maggots. He's now down at the back of the pack. And even worse start for Scooby G, who's our current championship leader, down in last.
Yeah, I think it was him that lost it. The car just slid out sideways, just in distance. So.
But here we go, Phil. The first man to tick off your list on a leading lap basis. One High Mofo is now in pole position for a bonus point after leading the first lap, but he's going to have Fraser hot on his heels very soon, you have to feel.
Yeah, Fraser got an immense start, moved out into the middle, moved his way up the field. Jamie's having a good battle here, though.
Yeah, Adam Morris, these two know each other very well. Very good race round Classic Spa in the M1s. Absolutely head to tail. And Jamie getting the move done up into 5th place. Behind DY House 7 looking to have a crack. And Jack Team 53 Synopsis. As DY House 7 loses the back end.
White House goes out there.
And that's someone else going out a bit wide. Looked like potentially Edu. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. I think it might be Tilbs. But Edu does look down the inside here of Ginge, who's had a good start himself, up into 9th place so far.
Yeah, he did well to keep that under control. That looked like the car was going. Oh, that's a huge, huge moment for Edu.
Trying to drift
Ginge,
it.
Very, very lucky.
Trying to drift it round the outside of Ginge. And just having a bit too much throttle. Almost reminiscent of Grosjean at Spain last year.
One Eye Mofo has bagged another lap as well, so currently in the way with 2 laps.
And I must admit, Fraser's not catching him either. Looking at the lap times, dead level last time around. Literally no time lost at all. But this man,
Yeah, Whitford.
he is coming up fast, isn't he?
Yeah, he is showing good pace. But so is the Les behind him as well.
I think Whitford was fastest man other than Adam Morris last time around. No, Adam Morris 101, sorry. And again, Whitford takes another 2/10 out of Fraser. Runs a bit wide, that could be penalty territory. There, Scooby G getting past Royston. On board with Royston as we go up to Maggots. See one high mofo, 3 laps led so far.
It's all looking evenly placed out at the moment. No one really able to sort of gain too much on the guy in front. It's all sort of relatively clean at this moment in time. I mean, looking very close behind Whitford. That's
I will draw your attention to Jamie F430, who last time around hit a 59-second lap. And just in a 1 minute .2, he is on the charge and will start catching up with those in front of him. And a bad lap for one high mofo as he goes on to lap 5.
Well, that's a mistake. That's going to allow Fraser to get past.
So Fraser into the lead. Whitford will follow into second. There goes Jamie. Here comes Anna Morris.
And it just shows how close that field is. Just the slightest mistake. And he will drop hugely down the
this
field.
Is tight.
Oh.
Tight through. Towards left field. But Adam Morris gets it done. And Jack, not far behind the Les either. Oh, now he is. Just losing the rear. Oh, and look that's Royston. Where's Ginge gone? Ginge is up into 8th place. Remember, Ginge and Jack had a bit of a rivalry in previous iterations of Group A's. Jack a 3-time champion, Ginge a 1-time, but that 1-time was a very dominant season in Season 8.
Yeah, there was one season where him, so Ginge, Jack and Scooby were all battling for first place. I can't remember what season it was. I think it might have been season 9 or 10. But it was a really, really good battle between the three. It could have been even been 8, 9 or 10 it was.
This is how close the top 4 are. 1 second apart between first and fourth. And Whitford is looking very interested here in Fraser.
So one high mofo still leading the way with amount of laps in first.
Yeah, I believe
it was 2 laps.
5, was it 5 laps for one high mofo?
I've got 4 marked down.
4,
I'm pretty sure it was 4.
We'll go with your count. As Whitford down the inside of Fraser, this for the lead. Into Brooklands. Side by side towards left field.
Hold this line.
But if Whitford can stick it there, he will get a better exit than Fraser. Fraser just hanging on to that lead by a thread.
That was exceptional defensive driving by Fraser. He just held. He knew what he had to do, and he just held it.
Into Cops for the 8th time. And here comes Jamie now, looking to go alongside Whitford up towards Maggots. Not quite being able to do it now. Obviously, both of them running the same livery. Jamie with his lights on at the moment. Trying to go around the outside of Whitford, coming down towards Brooklands for the inside. Has he got alongside him?
Not quite. Not quite. Almost, though.
Remember, these lot are battling, and yet they're not losing any time to the layers behind. They're actually pulling time away.
Oh, Fraser could lose out here. Whitford's going to be down the side of him, is he? No, not quite.
That drive, I tell you what, if you can get the wider line through there, the drive you get is sensationally good. But now Jamie looking down the inside of Cops, not quite close enough. Let's see. Adam Morris here going past Jamie up towards Maggots. Hit the brakes side by side. And Adam Morris will get a good run coming out of Maggots down the back straight. And Jamie immediately going back in for the draft.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened to Jamie there. Oh, Whitford's got this now, though. Nothing Fraser could do about that.
Oh, he's still got the nose alongside coming out of Brooklands. No, he runs slightly wide. And now that will be penalty territory. And I know that for sure around Brooklands. Yes, there's the penalty taking effect on Fraser. Down to fourth. And Whitford records his first lap led. I believe we have a tied lead at the moment on that. So this has been a very good recovery here from Scooby G, who ended up at the back of the pack just 9 laps ago. And now he's battling here, DY House 7 for 6th place.
Yeah, you see this from Scooby all the time. He can make a mistake at the start and he'll just fight back. He'll just get in the zone and he'll do what needs to be done. Going for a move on the outside. He's not going to be able to make that stick, though. Oh, no.
And again, it looked like Scooby went to come back across to take the shallower line. Didn't realise Ginge was there.
Oh, Scooby getting a bit closer comfort there as well.
I'm going to have another look back on the stream because I've got it running as well. All good news for this man. Jack, Team 53 synopsis. Back at the front though, and I'll let Phil describe his way through this one.
So, is Adam going to make it stick down the inside? No, he's not. Whitford is going to hold this line. Oh, could make a move here. And Whitford's got it covered. Jamie F30 really applying the pressure. Oh, Adam Morris is both got the lights blaring. Adam Morris lost a little bit of pace there, so he has to defend now hard from Jamie. Jamie pokes the car out, slots back in though. Both seem to have gained back on Whitford here as well as Fraser just coming into shot there as well. Oh, this is a good move here.
It's a long side, that's for sure, coming out of Maggots. But he's going to have the outside line for Brooklands. There's Jamie having a look down the inside of Brooklands as well. Maybe a potential move out of Luffield using a wider line.
Whitford holds on. Oh! Thinks about moving over. Jamie's got that covered though. I think Jamie's going to get the move done here.
Whitford chalks up his 4th lap to be 3rd tied in the laps led. Great move from... Yeah, great move. Now. All set up through Brooklands and Luffield there. Ready for Copse Corner. There is Ginge down in 13th after the contact with Scooby. This is not good for Scooby though. Jack is currently 2 places ahead of him, which would make them equal on points, I believe, at the end of this round. So the White House 7 going for a bit of a wander, which enables Jack to get another place, which would make Jack our current championship leader as the live standings go, I would believe. Or would it be? 18, 15.
Yeah, Jack will be very pleased with how this is turning out at the moment. Quite a bit of distance for Scooby to cover behind him. Jack hasn't made too many mistakes so far in the race.
At the moment, if I was to go on live timings, Jack would still be second in the championship. Currently. As he looks for a move on one high mofo, looks like he's going to get it on the Wellington straight.
Yeah, Jack's eyeing up his move here.
That is a lovely dummy.
Oh, really threw him off. Goes into spin. Oh. He do very, very close to him. Scooby now almost side by side with him as well. And goes through. I'm not sure whether One Eye Mofo maybe have just moved out of Jack's way. Who's to say? Jack got
no, I must admit that looked very much like dummy territory and very well played by Jack. But that still doesn't put him in a position to lead the championship at the moment. He'd be 1 point, and I mean this, only 1 point behind this man. Jamie for 30, currently second, and unless Jack gets up into the top 5, will lead the championship at the moment.
And this will give Whitford his 5th leading lap.
I think that's a bit more than 5 for Whitford at the moment. I believe he took over from Fraser on lap. He went 9 to 16, so I think that is his 8th. He hasn't lost the lead since he got it.
One Eye Mofo had 4, Fraser scored 4.
This is number 8 for Whitford, if you can hold on to it.
Sorry.
That is Tim. It is Tim. Good back marker driving, although I wouldn't have said driving on the grass. Completely necessary, but very generous.
Davey looking very controlled at the moment. Behind Whitford, but Whitford's showing very good pace.
That now means Whitford will get 1 bonus point because no one can catch him. He's led 8 laps so far, and there's only 6 to go.
Yeah.
So Whitford on a +1 here. Back down with Ginge, down in 11th at the moment. He's trying to chase after D Whitehouse 7 in this long train of cars. Now, this is the weird part of Silverstone. It's not really going to get any more interesting until about lap number 19, in my opinion. That's when everyone will start closing up together again. On board with Ben Sully coming onto the Wellington straights. He's got Royston ahead of him. At the front, as Whitford going through Copse Corner.
He has put about a 2-second gap between him and Jamie. So Jamie, I don't know if Jamie's had a little bit of a moment, but he's lost a hell of a lot of time on Whitford.
Yeah, poor lap time last time around for Jamie, a 101.8. which is still quick, let's be honest, but in when you're fighting for the lead, that is slow. A lot of the pack doing 101s.
As Fraser's still in fourth as well. I don't think, unless a miracle happens, I don't think Fraser's going to be able to get back on the top spot.
Now, Jack has a bit of company with him at the moment. He's got WRT Edu just 1.3 behind him. Now, that is very feasible to make up in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, we've seen Edu almost sliding out there.
I've got an idea.
But we have seen Edu once he senses something, he can get a charge on.
Phil, take us down through Silverstone National then.
Sorry, you'll have to repeat that. I couldn't hear you then. Sorry.
I'll let you talk us through a lap of Silverstone National in a minute with Jack. On his next lap around, I'll get you to talk us through on this 100th race. Whilst Jamie's going to have to start defending if Madam, which is not ideal for him. Jack still with Edu on his tail. We'll go on board with him. So Phil, if you would, a lap of Silverstone National with the host of the 100th Group A1 race.
So here we go, onto the home straight. Now you want to start braking about now. Drift it round, so just going on to Copse Corner. Don't want to go out too wide. You want to keep the power going. It is fast corner, so we're just going into Maggots now. Beckett's heavy on the braking. Line it round, get the power down now. Go out wide with it. Onto the Wellington straight. This is a part of the track that if you have got someone in front, the slipstream will come into effect. Now, braking here into Brooklands. Just ride the curve just a little bit. And then it's straight into Luffield. Messed up a little bit there, not too bad though. Power down, drift out wide as far as you can. And then through Woodcote, and then back onto the National Pit Straight.
Now,
and I will Edu very, very close behind him there.
I will say, whilst we were doing that, Les had a bit of an issue and has dropped down to 7th, meaning Jack's in the top 5.
Yeah, I think we saw that. It was just coming out of Beckett's. I think Jack just passed him there. So, yeah, I think he just messed up the call a little bit. Edu is really bringing the fight to Jack here. He was. That's going to catch the Les out. No, it's not.
That is a big, big shunt coming out of Maggots. Good job. There's no damage on the car. There's only there is no damage model being run on this, because that would have been a game and race over.
And that could have just been one of them where you're just pushing so hard. Sometimes you just reach the limit, but you're in the zone. You go for it. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't.
Adam having a good look here at Jamie. Final lap. Whitford has led since lap number 9. These two going wheel to wheel yet again this season in the Group A1s.
Well, I think Adam's going to go for a late move down the inside.
Not quite going to get him. He's going to have one more attempt on the run out of Luffield. That's a good line that from Jamie though, and a bad one from Adam. That will be that. But this man, he's led most of the race. Untouchable.
He's very pleased with that.
Whitford wins here at Silverstone for the 100th race of the Group A1s. Jamie Barrow rolls on the line for second place. And Amaris finishes third. Fraser fourth, hindered by that penalty. Jack will come home a very satisfactory 5th place there, with the Les in 6th. And just QBG in 7th. Edu is in 8th. No, One Home Mofo's 8th. Edu 9th after penalties. There's Ginge in 10th. Can't quite get the roll. Ginge 9th. WRT Edu 10th. Royston finishes 11th. DY House 7 is in 12th. Ben... No, as we see some carnage.
Jack I did say then Jack had disconnected. I'm not sure where he finished in.
He placed 5th. Placed 5th, so he'll keep that. So Whitford 0 wins from Jamie FL30. Adam Morris is in 3rd. Fraser 4th. The Les 5th. Scooby G 6th. One Home Mofo is in 7th. Ginge is in... try and rephrase that. The Les is in 6th. Jack Team 53 Synopsis is 5th. The Les is in 6th. Scooby G 7th. One Home Mofo 8th. Ginge is in 9th. Edu 10th. Royston 11th. DY House 7 12th. Ben Sully 13th. Tilbs 11 14th. And Tim rounds out the grid in 15th place.
It's a shame Envoy unfortunately disconnected just before the start of that race. It would have been nice to see how long he would have held on to 1st place there. So it is a shame. But well done for Whitford for getting that point as well. Apologies about my wonderful mark making skills. When we went off and we were watching, I think it was the battle between Jack and Edu, and we watched it for a couple of laps, I realised that I'd just started concentrating on that and just stopped marking down on the paper. So yeah, that's if you ever watch the Race of Winners event, you'll see how good I am at making notes and stuff while a race is going on. I'm not very good at it.
Well, that's it for the Group A ones, so stay tuned for the modern touring cars. I don't know whether Phil's staying or not. We'll find out after this break.
Stay. I will stay.
So do join us in about 5 minutes when we get underway with the modern touring cars. But from the 100th race of the Group A ones, thank you all for watching, and join us again next week.